You think you're probably greater than you are. You have a bit of grandiosity. You don't really know what you're good at, what you're bad at, what you were meant to do in life. The people that are really kind of reach the apex of power, you can honestly say that there's nobody else like them. They're weird, they're strange, because they're not afraid of what makes themselves different. Your source of power in life is actually what makes you weird and strange. It makes you different. That what makes you different is the source of what you want to lean into. Most people, it's like a zigzag. You don't have a straight line, this is what I was meant to do. It's never like that, it wasn't for me. But you kind of have an idea and it becomes clearer and clearer, and you find that path, and it leads to so much power, you become so creative and so energized because you enjoy your work, you learn faster, you're engaged emotionally with what you're doing. It is so important. A lot of people who are successful had a clear idea when they were 5 or 6. Some people discovered it at the age of 12 or 18. It's not easy, and a lot of people get confused. And why do you get confused? Children, you'll maybe know this with your 2-year-old, they have what he calls impulse voices. And these are voices that say, I like this, I don't like that. I like this kind of food, I hate this, I'm gonna spit it out. Right? I like this person, I don't like that person. They're very clear. They know what they like and what they don't like. It's so obvious to them in an almost pre-verbal sense. Everyone had that because it's the nature of being an infant in this world, right? Because it's natural, it's a voice that's naturally inside all of us. My voice tells me to do this, but I'm told not to do that. And slowly you go through a process where you're not hearing it anymore. You're hearing what teachers tell you. You're hearing what parents tell you. You're hearing what peers are telling you about what's cool, what's not cool. You're hearing what social media nowadays is telling you. And then you arrive, you're 18, 19 years old, and you haven't a clue because you can't hear that voice anymore. And you're gonna try this, that, the other, not based on things that are deep inside of you, but based on what other people have told you you should do or what they think is cool. And you're going to end up trapped. You're going to end up choosing a career path that seems seductive and interesting and lucrative. And 5 years down the line, you realize it doesn't really interest me, and you hit a wall. The problem is, how do you clear away all of that noise, that white noise that's drowning out your impulse voices, and actually hear what was your voice when you were 2 years old, right? And so it's a process. I've done it in consulting with people, trying to help them figure it out. For a lot of people, it's not obvious or easy, and I understand that. But we go through a process where we reconstruct some of the early memories of things that really excited them when they were a kid and things that they hated. We normally associate intelligence with kind of book learning and intellectual learning, but he says there are 5 different kinds of intelligence, and each is equally valid and important. One of them will be obviously words and language, which is something that I was attracted to. Some of it will be with figuring out patterns. It leads to like a mathematician or somebody interested in statistics. Another one's a little more abstract. I can't remember which one that is. It leads to like music. Then there's kinetic intelligence. It's all about your body. And that's a very high form of intelligence. We don't think of it that way, but it is a form of intelligence. There's a social intelligence where it's all about people. And he makes the point that a child has one of those forms of intelligence that dominates, inevitably. Some people might have another one that's kind of in the background, but one of them inevitably dominates in them, right? And if you choose a career that's not really in alignment with what you're naturally gifted for, your brain was wired in a particular way. It's genetic. And if you're not following that, forget it, you'll never get anywhere. So we go through a process of trying to figure out what is, just in the most general way, let's not get so specific about your actual career choice. What is that form of intelligence that you're inclined towards? You know, it's not difficult. Were you really attracted to sports and movement? Do you find you're most joyous when you're like dancing or running, and that's what gets you excited and you think about that? Okay, well, that's probably in some ways where your brain is wired. You know, is it words and just the sound of words that kind of obsess you and fascinate you like it did when I was a kid? You should probably be involved in some form of writing, right? Okay, so we go through that process. What is your frame of intelligence? We kind of determine that. And then we kind of reconstruct certain key moments in your childhood where you did something and it felt right. Now, a lot of people don't have that. I maintain that everybody has it. You have to kind of dig. But you did something, and in the process of doing it, it felt like there was kind of an ease to it, as opposed to learning math when you don't like math. There's no ease involved, right? For some people, that ease is in math. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's kind of put our finger on that for a little bit. And then as we get older, I like to look at what people hate. When I was 23, I discovered that I hated working for other people. That's why I had 60-some different jobs. I don't like the political game. I don't like all the stuff, all the things you have to play and pretend. I'm an entrepreneur. It took me a long time to figure it out. I never had a job more than 11 months in my entire life. It took me time, okay, I should be working for myself because I don't like working for other people. So that's part of the process that we go through. It's more complex than that, but that gives you an idea of what it's like. And then if you had found your way to podcasting too early, it wouldn't have the same meaning to you. Now you're so excited that you found the right thing because you kind of hated law and law school. It means much more, and you actually are more motivated to follow it through. Like if I had been offered to write a book when I was 24, instead as opposed to 35, 36, it would have never worked. Seduction involves by nature an element of transgressive and taboo. So the word itself has this kind of edge to it where we're sort of attracted to it, but we're also a little bit afraid of it. It's like something, it could be very exciting, but there's also something a little bit evil about it, a little bit naughty. And if it didn't have those two elements, it wouldn't be this very powerful word that attracts us so much. People who pretend they want everything to be so comfortable and easy and perfect in their life. They want everything to be good, everything to be sweet and angelic. But people are complicated. They desire the opposite of what they say they want, right? So underneath every one of our desires is secretly something else, secretly something maybe the opposite that we want, but we're not aware of it. And so if everything in the seduction were so smooth and wonderful and pleasant, he's giving you chocolates and roses and wonderful, it doesn't have that edge to it. We want an edge to things in life, otherwise we're not interested in it. It gives it something, a little bit, a whiff of danger. It's something we haven't talked about. But seduction has to have an element of danger to it. It has to be like being involved with this person. It's not like my life is at stake, but something potentially bad could happen, or there's an adventure involved that I'm not used to, where I could lose something that I value. And that element of danger is actually a spice in our life. So my view of people today is that we're too tight. We're too political. We're too like holding on to things we want. And secretly, underneath it all, we actually yearn for the opposite, because it's not natural for us to be so tight and wound up. The human being wants to loosen up. We want to laugh. We want to do the opposite of what's going on in society. We want things that are unconventional. We want things that are mysterious. We want things that are weird and strange. We don't want our lives to be so tight and controlled like everything is on the media. So an element of political incorrectness, of taboo, of something I'm not supposed to be interested in that person, but I am. How exciting. I think is a very, very important part of a seduction, because people are wound up way too tight these days, and they need a release, and they need that release is something that they would never normally do. You've been messing with the person psychologically. They've kind of had a back and forth dynamic with you where they're very excited, they're intrigued, but then they're pulling back because the things you've done that they're not sure about. And it's like a piece of metal that's getting weaker and weaker and weaker by all the bending back and forth, and they're on the verge of breaking. And so injecting a little bit of pain at the end of this, towards this moment in the seduction, I'm gonna leave you, it's over, I'm done with you. Man, that'll be very, very powerful, because there's been so much pleasure, so much excitement, so much interest involved. That moment that you're gonna pull back, or that you do something kind of heartless, is gonna have a devastating effect on the other person. I'm being the evil seducer now here. Giving that back and forth dynamic where you're leading them along, where it's very fun, it's pleasurable, exciting, but there are moments of doubt and pain, really is what hooks the other person and gets them completely in your grasp. So if everything is pleasurable, it's not going to have the emotional impact. And if you put in, particularly near the end, these little doses of pain. If you're pursuing someone so much, it's getting too predictable here. And the sense of being constantly chased and the sense of pursued is tiring. It's also a little bit frightening. Where is this all ending, right? It's going too much like you're in control of everything. If you take a step back, you're the one pursuing her, and now you step back and you don't call her as much, and you're doing your work and you're not so interested in her, suddenly she's going to have to pursue you because you've got your hooks in her so deeply. And the moment you've created this space, so you've pulled back, and now she's going to pursue you because she doesn't want to lose it. It's been so interesting and so pleasurable, and she's so used to this dynamic that she's now going to turn around. The moment she pursues you in any way, it's over. You've seduced her. That's it. So it's got to be timed right. We're very near the end of our seduction here, because that literally means to fall, and we're like falling in love. So this is a book about getting people to love you. It's not a book about just having sex. It's all psychological. So you're giving them space for them to fall, because if you're pursuing them, they're just backing up, but you want them to go like that. The problem that a man will have in this situation is he's so worried that he's going to offend the woman, that she's going to think that all he wants is sex. He's trying to be nice. He's reluctant to take the last step. But then to the woman, that signals, you've been doing this all along. You don't desire me that much. You're not willing to do something kind of aggressive. This is the moment that the woman wants something aggressive. She doesn't want you to hit her, but she wants you to take the initiative and do something which signals that you are so attracted to her, you are so in love with her, that you're just going to pounce on her. And that's what ends a seduction. That's what's powerful. That's what moves the other person. But the fact that you're hesitating ruins the whole effect. So at the very last moment, it's your boldness that will consummate it. It's the boldness that in this situation, the woman actually wants. The man has been doing all of these things, quite honestly requires some effort. But over the course of a couple months, let's just give it a little bit of time. We're not doing one of those pick up in a bar. It's been a couple months. He's been working at it, right? He's been doing these things. He's been taking you out here. He's been buying you things. You're also doing things as well. I'm not saying it's totally one-sided, but he's been putting in all this effort. Now he's got what he wants and it's all gone. Now he doesn't need to take you out to a nice restaurant. Now he doesn't need to dress up nicely. He can just sit at home in his shorts and order pizza in and watch games. He starts to take you for granted. He stops seducing. Now, I'm saying in this 24 here, obviously you're not giving the same amount of effort that you did earlier on. That would be exhausting. A couple that like you has lasted 22 years, or you were doing this for 22 years, you would have killed yourself by then. It'd be too much. No, you have to keep seducing a little bit on and on and on. You have to occasionally do surprises. You have to occasionally take them to someplace special. You have to be willing to keep dressing nicely or do something different, to have that slight theatrical, that sort of fantasy element. There still has to be a little bit of mystery involved. If the other person becomes so familiar, then the spark, then the charge between you will dissipate. So there has to be a little bit of mystery, a little bit of space still between you, and some surprise. So naturally, it's going to get lesser the longer you're together, but it can't completely disappear. And a lot of women complain, at least I've heard, that he just stopped trying, right? Everything suddenly I just became somebody familiar to him, and all the magic was gone, and all the things that he used to do that were full of effort, all of it has just gone like that. And it's a devastating feeling, like I'm not worth it anymore, it's all over. And that kills the relationship. So I maintain in the book that seduction was a strategy that women invented thousands of years ago because of the uneven power dynamic, quite honestly. So sex was the one tool back then that a woman had to gain power over a man. And so women invented the art of seduction as a way to turn the dynamic around, right? To have power over the man. So they developed this very elaborate art of how to hook a man so that he would become her slave, which was very, very powerful.